The brutal truth about money. Most people will spend their entire lives chasing money and still never feel financially free. Not because they are stupid, not because they are lazy, but because nobody ever taught them the brutal truth about money. From childhood, we are trained to believe one thing: study hard, get a job, work harder, save money, retire someday. And for millions of people, that system quietly destroys their entire life. Because the world most people were prepared for no longer exists. The uncomfortable truth is this: most people are not poor because they don't work hard. They stay poor because they were taught the wrong game, a game designed to keep them trapped. And once you understand this, you start seeing money completely differently. Tonight, we're going to talk about the brutal truth about money. Not motivational nonsense, not fake millionaire advice, just the truth. And by the end of this video, you may never think about money the same way again. From the moment you enter school, you are taught how to become an employee. Think about it. You are rewarded for obedience, memorization, following instructions, staying quiet, fitting inside the system. But nobody teaches you how money actually works, how businesses operate, how wealth is built, how financial freedom is created. Most people spend 15 to 20 years in education without learning a single real lesson about money. And then adulthood begins. Bills, debt, stress, survival. People wake up early, sit in traffic, work jobs they hate, come home exhausted, repeat the same cycle for decades, and society calls this normal. The frightening part? Most people never stop to question the system because fear keeps them trapped. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of risk, fear of losing security. So they keep trading their time for money, day after day, year after year. But rich people understand something different. Money is not just paper. Money is a tool. And the people who understand the tool control the game. Most people grow up believing that money is the reward for hard work. But the world does not reward effort equally. Some people work harder than everyone around them and still remain financially trapped. Meanwhile, others build wealth while they sleep. Why? Because the wealthy understand leverage. A normal person works for money. A wealthy person builds systems that make money. Businesses, investments, audiences, assets, technology, ownership. That is the real difference. The poor and middle class are often taught to survive. The wealthy are taught to build. And survival thinking changes everything. When someone is trapped in survival mode, they stop thinking long term. They stop taking smart risks. They stop learning financial skills. They only focus on making it to the next month. And the system quietly benefits from that fear, because fearful people are easier to control. Think about modern life. People wake up exhausted, scroll endlessly, consume constantly, compare themselves to everyone online, buy things they do not need, and then wonder why they feel empty. The brutal truth is this: most people are addicted to distraction, and distraction destroys potential. While the average person wastes years scrolling, someone else is building businesses, brands, audiences, skills, wealth. The internet changed the world forever. For the first time in history, a single person can build an empire from a bedroom. But most people still think with old world mentality. That is why they stayed trapped. Another brutal truth? Most people buy liabilities thinking they are assets. Expensive cars, luxury clothes, phones, status symbols, things designed to look successful. without actually creating freedom. Real wealth is usually invisible because wealthy people understand one thing: freedom matters more than appearance. Poor people often spend money trying to look rich. Rich people spend money trying to become free. And that difference completely changes the future. Poverty is not always financial. Sometimes poverty is psychological. Many people are mentally conditioned to stay small. They hear things like, "Money changes people." "Rich people are greedy." "You should be realistic." "Dreaming too big is dangerous." Over time, those beliefs become identity, and identity controls behavior. This is why two people can grow up in the same environment, yet end up with completely different lives. One person stays trapped, the other escapes, not because of luck, because of mindset. The wealthy think differently. They ask different questions. Poor mindset: how much does this cost? Wealthy mindset: how can this make money? Poor mindset: I can't afford it. Wealthy mindset: how can I afford it? The difference sounds small, but over years, it changes everything. And perhaps the most painful truth about money is that nobody is coming to save you. No school, no company, no government. At some point, your future becomes your responsibility. That realization is uncomfortable, but also powerful. Because the moment you stop blaming the world, you finally regain control. And control changes lives. The world today rewards value more than effort. That is why creators, business owners, brands, and entrepreneurs can make more money than highly educated workers, not because they are lucky, because they solve problems at scale. Value creates money. Attention creates value. And in the modern world, attention is one of the most valuable assets on earth. Companies spend billions fighting for human attention because attention can be converted into influence. Influence can be converted into business, and business can be converted into wealth. That is the game most people never learn. The saddest part: many people sacrifice health, peace, relationships, dreams just to survive financially. And by the time they finally make money, they no longer have the energy to enjoy life. That is why financial freedom matters. Not for luxury, not for status, but for freedom. Freedom to control your time, freedom to choose your life, freedom to live without fear. And ironically, many wealthy people eventually realize something surprising. Money itself was never the real goal. Freedom was. The brutal truth about money is that the world rarely teaches you how it truly works. Most people spend their lives surviving without ever understanding the game they are trapped inside. And maybe real freedom begins the moment you finally do. If this video changed the way you see money, subscribe for more cinematic stories about money, psychology, power, and the mindset behind success.